Hey guys, real quick. In this video you're going to see what I would choose and how I would design my next Deere barn. How I'll go about building one, and everybody's needs are going to be a little different than mine are, but at the same time we always learn from our first project like this how we would make things different. And I just thought I'd do a short video on how about going and building another steer barn, and always having the options with different purposes. If the markets would crash on steers and stuff like that, you could put something else in it. Alright guys, thanks again for coming along, and have a great one. Hey guys, I want to do a video here on this steer barn that we built in 2015 here in Pennsylvania. What I would do differently when we build the next one. If you go back in the video, you can see some of the stuff that we did to make it work. He's shutting the curtains here for me right now. But anyway, curtains are a must, and height is a must. These are 16 foot to the bottom of the truss. Lots of fresh air. So I told him to go ahead and shut these curtains just a little bit so we could get them aired out here today. If we have a thunder shower coming through, it'll help wash them off. Now, I made 3 pens in here, and I really am glad I did that for sorting cattle. But in between each pen here, we just put the post in. We jackhammered the concrete out there and put the post in, which was okay deal. But I want to put them on a 4-foot concrete, and then you only need a small panel. This allows you to push against the walls. You want to put that footer down in your concrete so you don't snap it all. So anywhere from I would say a 6-inch curb to an 8-inch curb is plenty if you get it down in the wall there, and make it about 4 foot, because you're going to get about 2.5 feet of manure in here, and they're going to back against it and push on and stuff. Now when we put this together, I ordered the gates and I did the post pretty much to save as much money as we can in this project. So overall, I think I did a pretty good job of getting in square. The panels and stuff like that, everything was installed by me. They did it, this was pen 1, pen 2, and pen 3 at the bottom there. Highly recommend getting heavy gauge steel fence panels. Beef cattle are very hard on them. We had a couple big cows jump gates and one big bull down the lower thing, and they just flattened those cheap green gates. So it started out pen 1 here. I would have a 4-foot curb, plus then on my drive-through in the back here. You need a drive-through in the back, especially for sorting cattle. Here again, this is a 5-foot wall here, not quite 5 foot. We poured that solid with concrete, bolt-on structure, so we had plans on if we wanted to move it, take these 2 bolts, and we bolted the header on too. This stuff here, just knock it off. We figured these braces would knock them off, and we could just put new ones on when we would put it back up again. Now we put a new wall down here with tin with the 2 doors, which I really like. We want to keep our fence posts out next time a little bit, and I also would like somehow to have like holes here with steel in it with a cap on it. I know it's going to be kind of hard to do, but then when you want to do sorting cattle or vaccinations, you can put these posts in and put some panels in, or have something permanent in this end of the building. So the curtains are coming down there. It's getting a little warmer in here, but this gives them a good time to get them cleaned up a little bit. And up front here, we want to put slanted floor up there, and some of you might know what slanted floor is and don't know, but and then put a pit underneath. I did like the waters up this way, but the problem is their feed and stuff, and you're constantly cleaning water. So I would switch the waters to the back side. I would pour a curb on here too, and you'd only need a 2-foot curb because you have a scrapeway here. And again, you would save money on the steel because you don't need a big, long, tall panels like I have there. So I would put a 4-foot curb to split each pen, and with a panel on top. You just don't want them too tall, or you don't want them too short, because again, you're going to build up manure in there and you want something to push against. And over here, a slatted floor in here with a pit underneath. And I'd probably move the water for each pen somehow in the back here, so where the gate and stuff would split. It would just be opposite. It just allows the feed, when they're eating, they don't just drink up front here. I did this feed here, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Just concrete. The lower barn we did stainless, and highly recommend doing stainless or tile. Stainless was a little bit more money. If you guys remember my other barn here, we might just run down there quick and add that in. Just a quick shot here from the outside of the barn with the curtain shut. I would highly recommend putting curtains on any building. Fresh air is very important, and in the wintertime you can really cut a lot of nice cool air coming off there. This roof is insulated, so I'll talk about that in a minute too. I'm going to come back. Just a real quick shot here, the stainless floor. You put that in when the concrete's wet, but you'll never have them licking through the concrete. Easy to push up the feed and stuff. Very nice option. And back here in the barn again, you can see we do not have any gutter on it. I did put drain underneath, which the gutter was supposed to come down through here. So there's a pipe all the way up through here, solid pipe. This goes into a 6-inch pipe, which goes out here to the end. But again, concrete back here, I didn't think it was necessary, and again, it was a budget issue. But here's these stainless boxes you can buy for your curtains. And back here to this floor again. And you're going to see it's really rough. Now this barn was built in 2015, March of 2015. And I'll try to get that link to that video as it going up there. And you can see the kids, I had 3 kids at that year. Justin, Jessica, and Brent. So, rail feeding is very nice. This is easy to slide up and down, so when you have smaller calves coming in, we're going to slide this down. Again, that was a lot of budget cutting for a startup operation. I think we did very well. I didn't have any lights in this barn just a few months ago. I was working late here and stuff, trying to get things done, so I just ran a strand on the wire and just put some lights in up on top, which made it really nice working late at night and feeding. Like I said, you would just take these bolts loose, slide the rail down for smaller calves, and as they got bigger, you could put it up. And you can see it's up pretty high there for the big calves. Now, after a while, I did get some more money saved up, and I put in these new slanted bars up here for smaller calves, because we did get tired of calves coming up through there and making a mess on this floor, or licking the TMR mixer, which we did ruin some wires on it. So he's over there pulling those curtains down right now, and it's just good to air your curtains out, make sure there's no moisture on them on a hot day like this every once in a while. And up here I did put in a set of headlocks. C&K did it for me here, put them together, and it did work. If you put a gate up and you put 3 in there and you want to give them a check for shots or something, or pull a calf, or you can hear that wind. This is all the wind coming in from that storm. You see this dark, cool front coming out of there. This farm did have originally 2 silos, one there, a harvester, and a stave silo right here. They were both taken down when I bought the farm, prior to buying the farm. See, corn's really blowing up there. So he's going to come up here and get some feed for some of the calves down below yet. So the biggest thing was make sure we could put this slanted floor in here. It's a lot of scraping, and we're going to pour a curb on the back so your wet doesn't run into your pen pack. And then here you could do something, you'll just notch out for your gates. It's very important to have lots of gates in different spots to control the cattle where you want them, and especially when you're moving groups in and out. But I just wanted to go over some of the things I would change. Again, I built this barn, we were in the tobacco business, and I thought if the steer market would crash, we could turn around and put in rails and hang in tobacco in here. And this would be a big barn for tobacco. And you can see we have a lot of high winds today, just from the storm here in Pennsylvania, but it's very nice in here right now with the curtain shut. The wind's just coming in here nicely. No fans in here. I never felt the need fans. I was going to put a drip line down across here with sprayers on it, and you could put on your hose and a mister, so just mist over their backs, and they could stand here. They keep this walkway moist. But if you have a pit, you don't really care to have too much extra water going in it. But and also a cattle brush, one of those electric brushes. I've seen a couple dairy guys have them. Eric there, 10th generation dairy farmer, dairyman, and big cattle love to itch their backs too. So I would have a spot where I could get it, in between two pens, so each could use it. But, so he's just about done shutting the curtain over on that side. I wanted to show you the TMR mixer we use in here. It's a miniature self-propelled Gator A100, and that works really nice. Would I make a wider feed rail up here so we could drive through with a smaller one? Yes and no. I just didn't have the way of going out there and turning around. And the self-propel works really nice in this barn and the lower barn. I'll throw that in here. So they're getting ready here to put grain in buckets for the lower barn. We put a bins here. I'd probably put more bins up for minerals and stuff like that. And so it makes it nice. You can just walk on the back of the Gator there and fill some buckets up. That's a 10-ton bin. Let's go look at this little mixer here a minute, and then we'll be back. I walk around and I start thinking of other things. Curtains. You could have a single curtain or a split curtain. The split curtain allows you in the wintertime to have the bottom one closed, top one open, let a lot of fresh air up on top. And I did talk about the roof being insulated, so we should look at that again, but I want to get here before the video gets too long. With all the concrete and everything in this building, we could talk a number what it cost. Without the slided floor and stuff, that's going to add another roughly $100,000 onto this building. Putting a pit underneath it. That's just your concrete work. Then you're going to have to buy a pump for the other end, and then pay someone to come in and pump it out. The way you do it like we do is scrape it up, piling it, and then we'll haul it out with a spreader. Works nice. Look at that pile of manure at the end, but the problem is you're not always going to have open land. So this is the mixer we have here. It's self-propelled, and this works excellent for our operation as far as feeding in here, low clearance buildings, and moving a lot of feed. I have hardly any trouble with it, other than we did have to replace some tires, some wiring that some calves licked, but other than that. So, and then here's the lower barn, which we did here a year ago. Poured just concrete and put in all these slanted rod bars all the way through here. This is a 100-foot feed walkway here. Some of you guys see it all the time, but And this has a stainless floor underneath it. So a mixer like this, you seen that we had a big one, the pull type, will not fit in that upper barn, but if you make a wider drive-through in it, you would have no problem. And this is where we would keep the sawdust in here. I definitely would highly recommend getting a skid load if you're working with beef cattle. This machine comes so handy. There's not a day it will actually sit any more than an hour throughout the day. Just grabbing things, moving bales, bedding, cleaning up manure. We do have a tire to put on the front for scraping that walk alleyway. Yeah, the 330G has been an X machine. I had 3 other machines prior to this one, and we did demo Bobcat, Kubota, and I definitely would highly recommend John Deere. Another thing, this building has its own well, just for the cattle. That barn down there has its own well, so you have 2 wells. Also, we have it wired here, so it goes right into the generator if we lose power. So this whole barn will be able to run with a 10,000 Honda generator. Just will wind that cord and flip the breaker up there, and you're never down with power. Also, these curtains come with automatic thermometers where if it gets too hot in here, they'll open and close themselves. It's another good investment, but when you're working with a budget, you don't need to have everything right away the best you want. Just like these lights up here I put in not too long ago. So if you have any questions on any other ideas or something you guys might have or what we did, and we did put some latches on here and there on gates, and then other gates we did chain and stuff like that. But cleaning this barn is very nice. Big pens. You put your cattle up front here, they can stand while you're working in the back, or rotate pens. But a barn this size should have no problem holding 200 head on 550 weights coming in. As they get bigger, then you're gonna back off a little bit. We keep feed here all the time on all our cattle, so they're never really bawling unless they want grain. So as always, I hope you enjoy the video, and let's see what kind of rain we get out of the storm. Corn's really drying down fast, so out here I was going to put another feed rail out here and feed more cattle, and they can go in the barn and stuff so they can eat outside, and you can feed them with a salt mixer. Again, thanks a lot for coming along with the Farming Life channel, and we'll talk to you later. Have a great one.